What new hobbies have you picked up this year and would you recommend them to others? Calligraphy is fun. It improves your handwriting and forgery. Handwriting. Oh, that's nice. Forgery. Now hold on a second. I've been collecting rocks and crystals for a while, but I've finally gotten a tumbler and started polishing them. The end results are cool to see, but the process takes a month or more depending on the type of stone, so if you're a deeply impatient person, or a perfectionist, you have very little control over how the stones turn out and there will be flaws. I don't know if I do recommend it. They're rosemary. Can't really call it a hobby, but for the past month since Arvid started and classes are suspended, I enrolled myself in free online classes such as photography, editing, art, etc. It's nice to have a little hand of skills and knowledge when the time comes. Where do you take these classes? Google Digital Garage, Canva Design School, Design Tutorial Plus, Udemy, Philanthropy University, Coursera, edX, LinkedIn Learning, OpenSAP. You just have to find what you're interested in. edX has a bunch of free classes and probably have stuff similar to what they were talking about. Archery. It's a lot of fun and an excellent way to clear your mind. I fully agree with your statement. I absolutely love it. What type of bow is your go-to? I have an old bear compun that a friend gave me. I'm new to archery, but I am hooked. I'm going out to practice right now. Where? How can I start? It seems intimidating. Experimenting with cooking. Following a recipe online that you found is also good, but there's just an extra layer of enjoyment and discovery to be had when I try to work things out on my own, especially when ingredients are limited. It's like a puzzle you can eat. The main point to not let not perfect overshadow good enough. You probably aren't going to be winning any awards with your first few attempts, but that doesn't mean what you created isn't special in its own right. When I try a new recipe, I follow it, then I can figure out ways to make it better. Same. Don't forget to check the comments for corrections or tips too. Sometimes authors overlook things and don't update their recipes. I've been logpicking. It takes sustained mental focus, which has been nice to get the mind off of all that's going in. Plus, if the apocalypse comes, I'll have a useful skill, which is a bonus. How do you start this? Started learning languages. Recommend it for sure. I agree, but you have to commit a lot more once you get to the intermediate level, I think. I did Babbel and Duolingo. I blew through Duolingo and Babbel was a bit better, but eventually, you get to the end and you're still not fluent. Now I've been reading books I know well in English and Spanish like Harry Potter, reading the dialogue out loud, and explaining the plot to my dog in Spanish on dog walks. It's been really helpful. I am a big fan of you telling your dog in Spanish about Harry Potter. Both, because that is hilarious and adorable, and because teaching others is a great way to solidify your own understanding. Not a language, but my economics teacher in high school always told us to go home and teach our stuffed animals the materials we learned in class. While I didn't use that for economics, I used it for chemistry, and boy did my understanding improve so much. If you can't teach, explain it. You don't know it. Sewing. I lost my grandma this year and she used to sew and knit a lot. I was given her sewing machine, so whenever I use it I feel closer to her. My nana liked to sew as well. She's still with us, but has deteriorated eyesight and cannot sew anymore. My nan gave my mom her sewing box, which had heaps of odd-cut fabric. Some fabric is older than me. I turned those fabrics into scrunchies. Nan was so excited to see them. She can remember what she made with them, and was so pleased to see the fabric get a new life. I bet she would love you are using her machine. Gardening and learning to play the guitar. Both are therapeutic. I've been learning guitar also, even though I suck. The process is fun. Same. My hands are not that big, so it makes it even harder. Plus, kind of infuriating when you just want to play without a YouTube video or something and can't play what you are humming in your head. That humming in your head? Try actually vocalizing it when you are trying to pick it out. It will help solidify note placement on the neck and your ability to figure something out by ear. Started meditating this year, almost at 100 days in a row. I would recommend, but I would start easy with just 5 minutes in a session and build your way up over time. What does your meditation consist of? There is a really good app called Waking Up. It's made by Sam Harris and the meditation sessions are also guided by him. It's pretty easy to follow along and it's free. If you know nothing about meditation or never done it, this app can be a good starting point. I started meditation at the beginning of this lockdown and would totally recommend doing it whether you use this app or some other resources. Why should I do it? What benefits does it give? I found it helped with anxiety and general state of mind. I'm calmer and less controlled by my emotions. I think of it like yoga. You can go your whole life not doing it and feel fine. But if you ever experience what it's like to have flexibility, you will look back and realize how limited your body was before. Got serious into reading. You really learn many things from books. Any recommendations? It's a really long book for a new reader, but The Stand by Stephen King is perfect for quarantine. It's about a super virus that is accidentally leaked from a military base and kills most of the population. It's really interesting to me to look at the parallels of the response to the disease in the book and the response to it in real life. Do not read if you have anxiety about the pandemic. It will freak you out. Strangely, I read this about 2 weeks before the whole C-virus thing was really well known. Definitely a good book. I also recommend IT if you like long books with strong character development. IT is one of my favorite books of all time. The character development is so fantastic, just strong writing overall. And it's a spooky story that definitely made it hard to sleep at night. The best. Analog photography. Fun to get a cheap camera and, not really cheap, film. Send to develop and practice exposing photos. Or buy some B&W films and develop them by yourself in your basement. I'll just get the kids in my basement to develop them. I started watching Bob Ross The Joy of Painting videos. I followed along to a handful of them, but did it in Photoshop rather than actually paint. His voice is super relaxing and I get into such a state of content and zen. I highly recommend it. It's one of the handful of things that have helped reduce a little of my anxiety this year. I think Bob Ross would have been proud of you taking the initiative to create works of art through such a different medium. Keep on creating, my dude. Smiley face, and best of luck with handling your anxiety. I didn't even think to just do it in Photoshop or GIMP. That's really smart. I wonder if there's a file of exclusive Bob Ross colors for that. Walks. Got a problem? Go for a walk. Got a dog? Go for a walk. Just ate? Go for a walk. Just been shot? Walk it off. Walkies. Are you a dog? Bark. Dog. Crocheting. Same here. Was frustrating at first, but the end products look cool. An idea where to start with crocheting? I have learned to knit and can now slam out a hat in about 2 hours, but can't crochet anything. I taught myself from a book, and it caused a couple of false starts for me. I'd recommend watching videos instead and starting with patterns like basic granny squares or scarves. Honestly, you do so much with just a chain, CH, single crochet, SC, and double crochet, DC, stitches. If you start there, you can make quite a few beautiful patterns. I started keeping fish shortly before COVID hit, and that has been a really good experience. We got into it with a small betta tank, but now we have a 75-gallon freshwater tank and a 20-gallon reef tank. It's taught me a little about hydroponics, plumbing, water chemistries, and animal care. Hey, I started right before COVID too. I started with a couple guppies in a 12-gallon long. Now I have a 30-gallon and that 12-gallon still. It's been a really fun hobby. Beware, reef tanks are addictive. Also will dry up a bank account quickly if not careful. Great hobby though. Do it myself. I started doing yoga and would definitely recommend it. It's good for you. Are you using a website or something? Yoga with Adriene on YouTube is a great place to start. Okay, I tried this. She had a 30-day program I decided I was going to follow. The first day was so hard I gave up about 20 minutes in. The first few videos of her 30-day sessions can actually be pretty hard. They're very slow, and you end up holding the same positions for a long time while learning the correct forms. I would recommend trying again, but allowing yourself to take mini breaks for the things you can't handle, and keep in mind that most days the sessions will be about 20 minutes. Only the first few are really long. I also will take rest days, especially when I first started. I was using a lot of muscles that were very weak, and around the midway point in the month, I would just get really sore and tired. I think one of the things I love most about Yoga with Adriene is that she encourages you to be kind to yourself, and alter your practice for what you really need. Not really a hobby, but I've actually been staying on top of my uni workload, instead of doing everything last minute. It has been nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn to do that too. I start uni in about a week. It's a game changer, trust me. Started complimenting men. Few things are cuter than a grown man getting tickled pink because you said his favorite hat looked cool. I'm a woman. I learned from another Reddit post that men don't get compliments, so I decided to change that. It was hard at first, because I'm usually shy. But it got gradually easier, and now I just point out things on all people that I think are nice, and it's become as easy as breathing. You're doing God's work. As a man, I just want to say thank you so much. I find that men really don't get compliments, and the few that they do make their whole week or month, and they'll remember the compliment for years. I'm 2 years into college, and I can still remember a compliment a girl gave me as Cleaver's Day in 8th grade. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and leave a comment which story you liked the most. Subscribe and hit the bell notification for updates on our latest videos. And don't forget to check the links in the description box for more awesome content.